This video takes us on a journey where the unforgiving wilderness becomes a sanctuary for survival. A 19-year-old girl, abandoned by her family with absolutely nothing, retreated to the deep forest to take on the monumental task of building a home from scratch. She had no idea of the physical toll she was about to face. The location? Wild, isolated, and dangerous. But it was her only chance to start a life afresh. 5 days of grueling labor, no power tools, limited food, and total isolation. These are only some of the hurdles she will encounter. Can she pull off the impossible and build a future with her bare hands? Let's dive in and find out.
Survival is not about luck. It's about accurate assessment. For someone with nothing, the forest provides, but only to those who know how to ask. Anya needed 4 things: high ground, material access, shelter from the north wind, and, most importantly, water. Water dictates everything. She followed the signs, the clustering of certain plants, the slight dip in the terrain, leading to a viable source. This small stream was non-negotiable. Without reliable water, the construction effort was meaningless. The final plot was an act of compromise, elevated for drainage, critical during heavy rain, and sheltered by the dense tree line to break the prevailing northern wind. This was the spot where she could maximize solar gain in the morning and minimize exposure at night. This small, defensible clearing would become her world. The constraints were absolute: no electricity, no fossil fuels, no mechanized transport. Every aspect of the build would be dictated by 2 things: leverage and friction. The tools were primitive, meaning the engineering had to be ingenious. She designed for efficiency, not comfort. The structure would be an 8 by 10 foot rectangle, the largest manageable size for one person to span and lift materials by hand. The design choice was a wattle and daub style for the walls, a system that maximizes insulation using short, lightweight materials. 5 days. The clock was her true enemy. Day 1, site and frame. Day 2, wall structure. Day 3, the roof. Day 4, insulation and enclosure. Day 5, the hearth and final seal. There could be no wasted motion. No emotional detours. This was not a hobby, it was a mission. The only remaining question was, could the body keep up with the mind?
While she was still thinking of the task ahead and a better way to plan, the forest offered a gift which completely changed everything. Hidden in the overgrowth stood an abandoned cabin. For a survivor, this changes everything. She isn't just looking at old wood, she is looking at saved energy. Every usable plank here is a tree she doesn't have to cut down herself. She tests the frame, it's rigid. The bones of this house are still strong. But she can't just move in. The location is wrong and parts of the wood are rotting. She decides to dismantle it. This is a process called selective demolition. She has to act as an inspector, separating the weak, rotted timber from the solid, usable wood. If she builds with weak wood, her new home could collapse in the first storm. Taking it apart is harder than knocking it down. Notice how careful she is. She gently pulls the nails to avoid splitting the wood. This is critical. Wood gets its strength from its grain, like long muscle fibers. If she rips it and cracks the grain, the wood loses its structural integrity. It won't be able to hold the weight of a roof. She treats every beam like it is made of glass. She never forgets her gloves. It seems like a small detail, but in the wild, safety is everything. A rusty nail or a deep splinter here isn't just painful, it's a risk of severe infection. With no doctor and no medicine, a simple hand injury could end her journey. The gloves are her shield. The pile of usable wood grows, but her energy is fading. The adrenaline of finding the cabin is wearing off, replaced by the heavy reality of the work. Her muscles are screaming to stop. But in survival, the mind has to be stronger than the body. She focuses on the dream of a finished home to push through the exhaustion. But everyone has a limit. She has hiked for hours and worked until her hands shook. She cannot build the house tonight. Instead, she constructs a simple bamboo platform to keep her off the cold ground. A meager meal of fruit is all she has to refuel. Day one is over. She has the materials, but the real building begins tomorrow.
It is a brand new day. The struggles of yesterday have paved the way for a sharper mind. As she looks at the heavy timber, she realizes a hard truth. She cannot renovate this cabin with bare hands alone. Tents and bamboo are one thing. Solid timber requires real tools. She needs a new plan. She remembers a grapefruit plantation she spotted while scouting. Wild gold waiting to be harvested. She finds the grove and gets to work. Notice how she handles them. She doesn't drop them. She places them gently to avoid bruising the skin. These are ruby red grapefruits. Their thick yellow-orange skin protects a treasure of juice and vitamin C, vital for energy. The pink color inside comes from lycopene, a powerful nutrient. To her, this isn't just fruit, it is currency. The gamble works. At the local market, the fruit sells out, but she gains something more valuable than money: allies. She makes friends who promise to help with the heavy lifting later. With her earnings, she buys the impossible: cement, sand, and proper tools. She is no longer just surviving, she is investing. Back at the site, the real engineering begins. Before digging, she uses bamboo sticks for pegging. She connects them with string to outline the room. This is the most critical step in construction. If these lines aren't straight now, the walls will be crooked later, and the roof won't fit. She is creating the map for her home. Watching her work with the shovel, you can tell this isn't her first time. She digs with a rhythm. She is preparing for a concrete floor. In a humid forest, you cannot just build on dirt. A concrete floor blocks moisture, stops insects from burrowing up, and provides a level base for the tiles. It is the shield between her home and the earth. Now, the chemistry. She mixes the sand and cement. The standard recipe for a strong floor is a 1-to-3 ratio. 1 bucket of cement for every 3 buckets of sand. If she uses too much sand, the floor will crack. If she uses too much cement, it's a waste of money. She gets the consistency of thick oatmeal. She pours the mix. To make it flat, she uses a long 4x6 timber for screeding. By dragging the wood across the wet surface, she shaves off the high spots and fills in the low spots. Finally, the screeding trowel smooths the pores. It has to be perfect. As the base sets, she prepares a slurry, a mixture of just cement and water, like a soup. Why? Because dry concrete won't stick to dry tiles. This watery mix acts as the glue. She pours it, places the tile and taps it gently with a wooden hammer to remove air bubbles. This ensures the tile grips the floor forever. Tile by tile, the floor is finished. It's hard to believe that this morning she had nothing but grapefruit. Now she has a permanent foundation. As the sun sets, she retires for the night, knowing that tomorrow the walls will rise.
Day 3 begins with a paradox. Her body is heavier than ever, drained by the concrete work of yesterday, but her mind is electric with zeal. In survival, momentum is the only fuel that matters. If she stops now, the fatigue wins. So she ignores the pain and grabs her basket. She knows that to build a roof, she first needs a fortune. She heads deeper into the jungle, away from the village. Why? Because of the scarcity principle. The fruit near the village is picked clean, but here, hours away, the fruit is abundant because no one else is willing to walk this far. To the villagers, these forest oranges are rare and expensive. To her, they are free capital waiting to be unlocked by hard labor. She strikes gold, wild oranges. Unlike the farmed variety, these are smaller but packed with concentrated citric acid and natural sugars. Instant energy. She fills the basket, then her backpack. Every single fruit represents a nail, a screw, a piece of her future home. She carries the heavy load back, powered only by the thought of a dry place to sleep. The strategy works. The village pays a premium for the rare fruit. She doesn't keep the money. In construction, cash flow must be immediate. She runs to the hardware supplier to pay the final installment for the most expensive part of the build, the roofing sheets. She has timed this perfectly, just-in-time delivery. Back at the site, the cavalry arrives. Her friends from the market have kept their promise. They stand before the skeleton of the house. Look at the frame. You see the vertical posts and the horizontal strips called purlins. Before the new roof can go on, they must prep the skeleton, removing old nails and debris that could puncture the new metal. Then the sound of a diesel engine breaks the silence. The green lorry arrives. These are corrugated galvanized iron sheets. They are lightweight, durable, and shed rain instantly, but they are also giant razor blades. Handling them requires thick gloves and synchronized movement. One slip could mean a deep cut, and out here, there is no hospital. She takes the most dangerous job, the high wire act. She climbs the skeleton to the roofline. Here we see a necessary evolution. To secure the roof against high winds, hammering by hand is too risky. It shakes the frame and could loosen the old timber. Instead, she uses a battery-powered drill. It's a rare luxury in the wild, but essential for structural integrity. Watch how she places the sheets. She doesn't just butt them together, she overlaps them by two ridges. This is called the capillary break. It ensures that even in a driving rainstorm,
Water cannot be blown sideways under the roof. She drives the screw through the top of the ridge, not the valley, so water runs away from the hole, not into it. As the sun dips below the tree line, the last screw is driven home. For the first time in 3 days, she has a ceiling. The sky is no longer a threat. She has a floor, a frame, and a roof. The shell is complete. She retires for the night, sheltered and safe, knowing that the house is finally becoming a home.
Day 4 starts clean. The salvaged wood from the old cabin is strong, but to build a home of this quality, she needs perfection. She utilizes the electric planer, a crucial tool for modernizing the timber. The planer removes the rough exterior, ensuring every plank is perfectly flat. This level of precision is necessary for a tight, gap-free fit, making the walls wind and water tight. She starts by locking the ground frame. These base logs, called sill plates, must be perfectly chained together to resist movement. Now the genius of the craftsmanship. She is using a primitive wooden hammer to chisel out holes. These cuts create the mortise and tenon joints. By cutting the vertical posts, the tenons, to fit snugly into the holes, the mortises, she creates a frame that is inherently rigid and strong, relying on precise fitting rather than a mountain of nails. The frame quickly transforms into a shelter. The walls provide two things: stability and protection. The posts give the structure lateral support, preventing it from swaying in the wind. The cladding, the planks she meticulously planed, creates the thermal envelope. Every piece is a shield against the vast cold forest outside.
house is quickly closing in, transforming from a promise into a reality. Just as the project nears completion, the high-stakes risk of construction returns. Standing on the unstable red stool, a substitute for proper scaffolding, is dangerous. While tapping the final brace, she loses her footing. The small metal hammer drops, and she falls. This is the truth of solo construction. There is no one to spot you, and a single mistake can put the entire survival mission into jeopardy. The shock is immediate. She needs a physical reset, a cool bath to calm her nerves, and protein, the eggs, to combat the stress hormone response. As she eats, the fear isn't about the pain, it's about the vulnerability. She realizes she cannot afford to work while distracted by the close call. The psychological barrier of the fall is now more dangerous than the physical pain.
She makes the strategic choice to pause construction. She channels her fear into economics. She searches for wild yam tubers, a demanding route to harvest requiring deep physical labor. But the arduous digging acts as therapeutic grounding. By the time she sells the tubers out at the market, the confidence from her financial success outweighs the fear from the fall. The house is not finished, but the spirit is fixed. Day 5 brings a new energy. The fear from yesterday's fall has been replaced by caution. Notice the change. The red stool is gone. In its place, she uses a sturdy timber plank as a makeshift scaffold. She learns fast. She finishes the main cabin walls, ensuring the planks are closely compact. This isn't just for looks. Tight joints prevent sound from entering and stop rain from being driven through the cracks by the wind.
the shell is finally rigid. A builder's eye is never satisfied. Looking at the open porch, she realizes it's wasted space. She decides to enclose it, creating a transition zone, a waiting room or semi-outdoor kitchen. She installs a custom grid window high on the wall. This is a passive ventilation system. Since heat and smoke rise, these upper openings allow cooking fumes to escape without letting the rain in, keeping the air inside fresh. Now she secures the perimeter. She builds and hangs the doors and windows. In architecture, a house isn't a home until it can be closed. The windows serve a dual purpose: natural lighting to save energy during the day, and cross-ventilation to cool the house at night. The doors provide the psychological comfort of safety, the ability to lock the world out. The structure is done, but the surface is raw. It's time to polish. She gears up, bodysuit and mask. This is vital. Sanding creates microdust that is dangerous to inhale. She uses a power sander to strip away the outer layer of the wood. This does two things. It removes splinters for safety, and it opens the pores of the temper, preparing it to drink up the paint that comes next. Finally, the finish. She mixes a nude varnish and loads the spray gun. This step is non-negotiable. Raw wood is a sponge. It absorbs water, which leads to rot and invites termites. This spray creates a hydrophobic layer, a plastic-like seal that repels water and blocks UV rays from turning the wood gray. It doesn't just make the cabin look golden, it ensures it stands for decades. Step back and look at the transformation. 5 days ago, this was a pile of rotting timber and a patch of dirt. Now it is a stunning, weatherproof sanctuary. The joinery is tight, the finish is glass smooth, and the design is functional. It is a masterclass in resilience. The work is done. The hammer is down. There is only one thing left to do. She roasts a whole chicken over the open fire, a feast fit for a builder. As she takes that first bite, the taste is victory. She was abandoned at 19, left to fade away in the forest. Instead, she planted her feet, built a fortress, and proved that even when the world leaves you with nothing, you can still build everything. This is just the beginning.
We have witnessed 5 days of raw ingenuity and sheer resilience. From a single backpack and a devastating setback, she built shelter, security, and, most importantly, a future. This is what happens when human will meets necessity. If this story of engineering, trade, and survival inspired you, then join our journey. We break down the science and technology behind the impossible, blending real-world facts with unforgettable narratives. Give this video a like if you were rooting for her, and we want to hear from you. What was the most impressive piece of construction here? Was it the ancient technique of the mortise and tenon joint, or her resourceful use of solar power in the wilderness? Share your thoughts below. What impossible challenge will our engineers and builders face next? Only one way to find out. Subscribe to Grow with Sin and never miss a story. We'll see you in the next documentary.